We are so excited to start today and welcome you to our workshop. Those are like 4 proven strategies for forgiveness in 4 steps that including all the secrets that we found that can make it short and easy and to help you to move forward, to clear your heart and find the forgiveness so you can be happy in the moment. And I'm thrilled to be here with all of you today alongside my friend, Dr. Kelly Kessler. We will guide you through a powerful technique designed to help you to forgive, release emotional baggage, find peace, and create the life that you truly want.
So today, the goals that we have for you is we're really just going to guide you through a process. So the intent in today's workshop is to make it very much active. So teaching you the things that have worked in our lives and actually going through those. So less of us just talking to you, but more of us just guiding you through the process of that and what that looks like and how you can integrate it into your life. So we're going to take you through 4 proven strategies for forgiveness, emotional healing, and overall freedom from things that maybe have been bogging you down for a long time. So the 4 strategies that we're going to show you today is awareness. So how do we start to become aware of some of the patterns that have maybe been holding us in a place where we're kind of stuck in these emotional traps and have been bogging us down. So we're going to take you through becoming aware of that, because it's truly through awareness that we can start to cultivate change and really create a new life and create a life that we desire. So through that, we're also going to take you through a journaling process. So how do you take all the things that are in your head and put them onto paper so you can be even more aware of them and allow yourself to move through those? From there, we're going to take you through some nervous system regulation techniques. So using your body to release the mind. Sometimes we can get so stuck in our head that it's hard to really make any changes in our mind. So it's really through the body that we can allow our minds to feel safe enough to create a new way of thinking, a new way of being. After that, we're going to take you through Ho'oponopono. So this is a beautiful practice out of Hawaii that is used to cut the energetic cords. So we're going to take you through that, explain that further, and really show you how to do that. And lastly, we're going to take you through visualization for forgiveness and letting go. So not only you're going to break down everything that maybe that's been holding you stuck, learning how to forgive, but now how can we create the desired emotions that you want in your life? And a lot of that is through that visualization for forgiveness. So that'll be the last component that we take you through here.
So before we begin, thank you, Kelly. Take a moment to settle in because I know most of you came from a long day at work. I want to invite you to, if you can, just close your eyes and take deep breaths, breathe in and breathe out. So you can let go of any stress or tension from your day. This is your time to focus on yourself and find the healing. This is part of your healing journey. So everything goes easily and effortlessly when we actually relax. I wanted to go next and tell you why we choose to do a workshop on forgiveness. So you might be wondering why we choose this as the focus of the workshop. I have been thinking about this for a while, over a year actually. In fact, I've wanted to offer this workshop for some time, but I felt that something was missing. I was waiting for the perfect moment to share this with you. But this process of preparation just mirrors the ongoing journey of forgiveness itself. It takes time. It's not always perfect. We are human beings. And to remind us that we are all human navigating a spiritual journey within a physical body. And I want you to remember that. And September feels like the right time. Perhaps it's the energy shift as summer transitions into the autumn, or maybe it is because we are entering the Hebrew month of Elul, a time of reflection and preparation before Jewish New Year's. Actually, it's a period of shedding all layers, both in nature and within ourselves. This makes it perfect time to come together and as a collective welcome this life-changing process. And here are a few things I wanted you to remember today. I want you to remember today that forgiveness is not about excusing others' actions. It's about freeing ourselves from the emotional weight that holds us back. By participating in this workshop, you will gain new skills and tools that will allow you to forgive more quickly. Not because others deserve it, but because you deserve peace. You deserve to stand in your own light. Also, I'm excited to talk about this forgiveness because While I'm not professional expert, I speak from my heart and share from my own experience as spiritual coach, mom, hypnosis practitioner, and creator. Everything I share today comes from my own journey and the lesson I have learned along the way. After going through the process and seeing the transformation in my energy, you also going to see it. You might find yourself wondering after you do the process how it's possible that people around you seem like they've changed, but it's not them, it's you. The shift in energy field changes in you, the way you perceive and interact with the world, leading to new experiences. So pay attention to that. I've been doing it for a while now, and I have been seeing the change in my clients. Before we go into the strategies, I wanted to talk about the psychological benefits. There is Dr. Fred Laskin. He's a famous psychologist and director of Stanford University, and he talked about forgiveness. He actually had the Forgiveness Project. It says that it's a choice and it's a powerful tool for emotional freedom. I believe it's like a priceless gift, one that inspired us to choose this workshop. It will help you with your self-confidence, not feeling like imposter anymore, and empower you to be with the right mindset. So I'm going to move to some of the misconceptions. Many people think that forgiveness it's about saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." But sometimes it's also pretending that everything is fine after someone said, "I'm sorry to you," but it's not. Real forgiveness, it's not about putting on a fake face or doing what's expected, because society expects us to just forgive fast and let it go. If we forgive for the wrong reason, like feeling pressured or wanting to please others, it can leave us with unresolved feelings, which is unfinished business that hold us back from moving forward. And this is where you see a loophole, where you see that things happening to you over and over. Same boyfriend, different looks, same relationship at work, not being able to make money or not being able to attract the things that you want because you need to forgive someone or something, and sometimes it's yourself. So I'm gonna let Kelly explain why don't just to forgive, because I want you to go through that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there are some reasons, obviously, to forgive, but there are also reasons not to forgive. So, while forgiveness is wonderful, you have to feel it from the inside. So the thing is that you're going to feel pressure a lot of times for forgiving and making it quick. And like Tammy said, this is a process. This takes time to forgive. It's something that comes from within. So reason, that you may feel pressure to forgive is that people say, "Oh, it's the right thing to do." They may have seen that somebody has wronged you and they're like, "Oh, it's the right thing to forgive." But again, it has to come from within. It can't be from someone saying that you should do this. Good people should forgive right away. So that's another common misconception that we do see, and another reason why it has to come from within. It can't just be somebody saying you should forgive. If you want to be a good person, you should forgive. A lot of this is all guilt driven. You can see these phrases. It's a lot of guilt that comes from this. And forgiveness is not going to come from a place of guilt. It has to come from a place from love from yourself. You may feel the pressure from family and friends to forgive because, again, there's the dynamic that shifts when there is some kind of resentment within a family dynamic or friend dynamic. But it's important that, again, it comes from you, that this is your own personal journey and that someone's not forcing you to go through this. And then you may feel the pressure to please others or a shortcut to healing process. So these are all ways that you may feel that pressure to forgive. But again, it has to come from your own journey. It's your own process that you need to forgive here. So true forgiveness comes from understanding. So it has to come from where you want to feel different. You want to release yourself from some burden that you felt from the emotions of a past situation. So again, you may feel that I know what you did. It is not okay, but I'm going to learn how to forgive so that I'm not hooked to that energy. So it's not just letting somebody off the hook or saying that what they did is fine and let it go. It's about you releasing from that energy and you allowing yourself to move forward and not harbor those emotions that have maybe kept you stuck in a certain way. Another thing you may say is, but I know you are more than what you did. So again, that can be part of that too, is like you recognize that someone may have wronged you, said something negative to you or really harmed you, and you can recognize that that's something the person did, but it maybe isn't representative of who the person is, and maybe you can forgive the action and allow yourself to move forward. But again, it's a personal choice in that. Another thing you may find yourself saying is, I don't want to hold you captive in my body, soul, and emotions. So we'll talk about this a little bit later when we talk about how the body actually embodies the emotions that we hold on to. But this again has to come from within, that you recognize that you're holding on to some of these emotions from not forgiving somebody. And now it's literally seeping into every aspect of you. And then it can heal myself. I don't need anything from you. So this is powerful. The fact that you can and always have the power to heal yourself and not hold on to these emotional burdens that you're feeling. So you can heal yourself and not rely on somebody to do the right thing, say the right thing, or even apologize. Forgiveness is literally your own personal journey. You don't have to rely on anybody else. Forgiveness frees me to be the best version of myself. So again, this is huge. Like if you ever have run a computer where you have multiple windows going on and your hard drive is dispersing its energy in all different places, and you can notice that everything slows down, right? Nothing really works great. And that's kind of what lack of forgiveness is that we're dispersing our energy in directions that are just draining us. So we can never be fully present for the things that we desire because we are spread so thin by holding on to some of these lower emotions in other places. So by forgiving yourself and forgiving others and allowing yourself to feel that forgiveness, you are allowing for the best version of yourself because you're not harboring those low emotions that you may be feeling for a long time. Big things with forgiveness is that forgiveness is the path to a real path to freedom. So forgiveness prevents you from being the victim. It can be very easy to get into that victim role when somebody has maybe wronged you, that made you feel low, maybe has made you feel less worthy, or whatever they have done. It can be very easy to get into that place of ruminating on all the things that they have done to you and all the impacts that they've had on you. But when you forgive, what you do is you take that energy and you transmute it into something that is valuable to you, a lesson. It becomes empowering. Forgiveness is literally taking back your power. When you are in a victim mentality or a victim role, you are relinquishing your power to the person who wronged you. So forgiveness is about taking back your power, taking back your energy, and no longer relinquishing it to someone or something outside yourself. You're no longer emotionally connected to the other person. So it releases you from that. How many of you have ever ruminated about something that somebody has said or someone has done? I know I've been there, and you literally experience that emotion over and over and over again. And it feels real every time you do it. Your body literally feels the same emotion too. Your heart rate might go off, and you feel that over and over and over again because you are just ruminating on everything that person did to you. And so this allows you to emotionally release yourself so that you're no longer connected to the person. They no longer hold any power over you because you're not anchored into their role that they played in maybe causing some pain. You can release that emotion and move on with your life. So again, in vengeance and acting out of emotion are prisons for us. So if you have been wronged by somebody, you're harboring this resentment towards them, you may have been holding on to this for years. And then you play out this whole almost like vengeance against them, like, almost playing out like maybe wishing something bad happened to them, or maybe not to that extent, just literally feeling that anger towards them and just directing that out and saying, how could they have done this to me? And just playing this over and over again. So it becomes this emotional prison where we literally can't release ourselves from that area.
So we're gonna move to more details about that.
Yeah.
I think I want just to explain a little bit so we can start with the process.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
elaborate more about that. So I'm just gonna share before we start the first strategy. It's a personal story that to illustrate the power of forgiveness. And I remember my daughter right now, she's older. When she was 16, she came one day home from school and in tears, a classmate humiliated her by throwing a basketball at her face and then laughing about it in front of the other classmate. My initial reaction as the Israeli mom was to protect my daughter, as like I wanted to retaliate, to curse, to blame, to tell next time you throw the ball back, and like really say bad words. And then I thought, you know what, I'm a mom and I decided to take the higher road. Actually, life changing for myself, even though it felt uncomfortable. But she was only 16. I remember I sat her down and asked her, what do you want to say to this girl? And she vented her feelings. And then I encouraged her to write down everything that happened, how she felt, what she experienced, every detail. It took a surprising step when I asked her to close her eyes and go through the process that you're going to witness today. And I even added a prayer for this girl and we prayed together. My daughter was kind of shocked. She didn't expect to respond. And things happened afterwards that she felt profound sense of relief as a result of going through that. She realized that the girl who hurt her was just another young girl that didn't know what to do. She was trying to do her best and it wasn't worth holding on to the anger. Years later, when she went to college, when her friends struggled with resentment, my daughter had the tools. She became like an expert of forgiveness because she shared the process and prayed just to show that as we improve this skill, forgiveness is a skill. It's going to happen. You're going to be able to learn the techniques and do them easier and effortlessly as you witness events, people, and things that gonna feel like they hurt you. Or you need to forgive to feel free. So I'm gonna start with the first step, that it's awareness, and it's the foundation of self-growth. Actually, it's about being present and noticing our thoughts, noticing our emotion, and understanding where we start and where we end, without judgment. When we have this awareness, we cannot go back. After you go through this process, it's going to be challenging for you to say, oh, I don't know how to do that. Now that you know how to do it, you will actually want to do it even more. Many of us avoid this step because it's painful. We don't want to be uncomfortable or confront our scars and wounds. So we channel our anger elsewhere. We eat over it, we shop, we get angry, resentful, we are bitter, we blame and become victims. But this anger only holds us back because our energy cannot grow freely. And as a result, sometimes we can't get the job that we want. We are not in the career. We don't have the relationship. We can't make the money that you want. So this process is healing and teaching you how to be the master of your life. So we're going to go through the awareness where you're going to be clear of what you're forgiving, who you're forgiving, understanding what's happened, how you feel. And I want to go through a short awareness process that I want to help you to do at home whenever you go to an event or something that's not letting you move on. Just you can close your eyes and take a deep breath and see how you just go through your body and scan it and see how you feel. Where is it sitting? What color is it? Have the awareness. Take deep breaths even now. Stop whatever you're doing if it's possible. Of course, if you're not driving, and just bring the awareness to your body. What am I feeling? What's happened? Who I need to forgive before we start that. So you are clear. We're gonna give you soon a few minutes to express yourself through journaling, but I think it's gonna be helpful if you can take at least 4 deep breaths to let your body just feel it. Simply to observe your thoughts, your emotions. So you're in your body, feeling your feelings, and I'm gonna let Kelly talk about expressive journaling.
Yeah, absolutely. So big thing with journaling is that it's not only important to bring awareness to where you are, just like Tammy was saying, but journaling allows you to take it out of your head and actually put it on paper. So even just the physical act of journaling and writing it down allows you to start rewiring your brain. So it makes your brain realize that, oh, this is something important. So the processing of taking it from your brain all the way down to your hand to write on the paper allows you to process that even more so. So when you bring awareness to what you're feeling and then you actually put it onto paper, it allows your brain to realize the importance of it, and then it allows it to start to rewire even more importantly. So why do we journal? Again, it processes emotions and it reduces stress. I'm sure we've all experienced that time when we've had maybe every day where we have these like jumbling of feelings and emotions and thoughts going on in our head, and it feels like it's just a storm of things. When you journal, you allow yourself to release that onto paper. You can see it more objectively because it's on paper. You went through the process of actually writing that down. And if you've never journaled before, there's a huge difference between allowing yourself to kind of figure this out in your head versus putting it on paper where you can be more succinct and see where you truly are. You discover your true self and you can set goals. So amazing thing about journaling, you can actually see the progression of where you started to where you go. And especially with forgiveness, where you start to see that release. But when you first journal, there may be just a slew of things that are coming out because it's all been in your head for maybe years. So for a moment, I wanted to just take you through a few journaling prompts. So if you have a piece of paper with you or a notebook or anything you can write in, I want you to take just a few minutes just to do this. So I want you to think of names of people you want to forgive and what they did. So think of something that has maybe occurred, something that someone has done, or anything in your life where you feel like you want to forgive, or maybe you've been holding on to these emotions for so long, and it's something that tends to come up. It may feel very triggering sometimes when that person's name comes up, but I want you to think of someone specifically and what they specifically did. So take a moment right now to write that down.
I'm gonna put slow music so you guys can do that. And we're gonna give you 2 minutes, and this time is for yourself. If you don't want to write down, which we really recommend, you can just close your eyes and think about these people. So whenever we go actually do the Ho'oponopono, you're going to be able to forgive them and go through the process. It's really helpful. If I were you, I will just do what I'm doing with all my clients. Sit down and really quickly jot down all the names that you just think about, that really physically, emotionally, mentally holding your real estate, your body. Let it go. It can be anyone. Sometimes it's you yourself who holding yourself back. So put yourself on the list, because sometimes we need to forgive ourselves for not knowing and doing mistakes because we were in denial for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes it's forgiving institutes, forgiving our culture, forgiving our school, forgiving whatever it is. We're going to give you 2 minutes. Go ahead and do that and come back, because next is going to be very powerful. We're going to talk about the nervous system regulation techniques, Ho'oponopono, and visualizations. We're going to start now. 2 minutes. Okay, so these were like 2 minutes, passed so fast. I hope you wrote something. I am gonna put the music and we're gonna stand up and dance for a minute.
So this can be really heavy, some of this stuff, kind of processing this. And so it's really important just to keep the levity in that. So that's why we just want to get up and move a little bit, and then we're going to move you through some nervous system regulation. So using your body in a way to release some of that is really important. So even if you just want to shake it off or dance, that's really going to help you kind of get through some of this so it doesn't feel so heavy sometimes. But even if you just want to just stand up and dance, kind of shake it off, it's really good. Just kind of shake everything, allow everything to release. Hopefully you all were just able to get up, stand up, just kind of release everything, shake it all off. And then I'm going to take you through some movement too, through the nervous system. So if, just to release yourself from that. So forgiveness in the nervous system. So it not only impacts, just what we feel emotionally, but it actually impacts our bodies when we hold on to emotions that are not serving us. So the impact of unforgiveness on the nervous system is pretty significant. So as we have resentment that builds up into our body, it actually creates a stressed state. So our nervous system is composed of a parasympathetic nervous system and a sympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic is that rest, digest, restore. It's that place where we feel peace, we can heal. And then there's the sympathetic. So the sympathetic nervous system is our stress response. It's our fight, flight, freeze, fawn response. It's the system that, if a bear was in front of us, we would have to either fight it, run away from it, play dead, and those are really our options. So our bodies are wired in a primitive way. So that really hasn't changed. So we still experience stress and we still present with stress the way we did in primitive times. But now we are experiencing that in more extensive levels and more chronicity of that. So that's where we start to see the impacts of this stress, the stress that's created by holding on to these emotions that do not serve us, holding on to guilt, shame, fear, anger, resentment. So when we feel chronic stress, we get that sympathetic activation, we get that stress response. And this is where we get a flooding of cortisol and adrenaline through our systems. And I'm sure you all have heard of cortisol, but cortisol is your inflammatory hormone. It is a hormone that goes through your system and causes inflammation when it is there chronically. So that is what we're experiencing when we hold on to these emotions, when we have this resentment for things that we're not able to forgive, or we don't actively go through the process of forgiveness. We feel this flooding of stress hormones. So we have this prolonged fight and flight freeze response, and then our body feels it. So we tend to experience higher heart rate, higher blood pressure. We feel muscle tension. We get tension within our fascia, which is our connective tissue in our body. We can get headaches from that. We feel like we are drained, you're exhausted. You can have more frequency of colds and illnesses because you have immune suppression from this as well. So our immune response goes down, because if we were in a place where we had to fight a bear, it's not important to heal the body. And that's what we experience when we're chronically in a place of unforgiveness and these low emotions. Again, chronic inflammation, which also leads to diseases. And this is where we see the higher increased risk of chronic diseases like heart diseases, hypertension. So it not only impacts our emotional well-being, our mental well-being, but it also impacts our physical well-being when we have a difficult time releasing some of these lower emotions. So forgiveness in the nervous system is absolutely essential. When we learn to forgive, it also has beautiful effects. And that's also the benefit of it. So just as detrimental as unforgiveness can be on our body, it has amazing impacts when we learn to forgive and release them. So we get a heart connection. This actually reduces the burden on the heart. It promotes a sense of peace. So it's that mind-body connection. They are both electrical beings, our heart and our mind, and there's a heart coherence that you can experience when you have this forgiveness. Your hormones balance out. So you have a reduction in cortisol. You don't see the inflammatory response, but you also have an increase in oxytocin. So oxytocin is that feel-good hormone. It's that hormone that's produced when a mother holds its baby, or you get a hug that just feels so warm. That's the hormone that actually increases when we start to forgive. So we have more of that and less of the cortisol. We release the tension, so our muscles in our neck and our shoulders and our back and all throughout our body actually start to release and melt, just like the emotions that start to release. And then we can feel this deep sense of relaxation. I know so many people I work with say, I don't even know how to relax. I am so tense all the time. And a lot of this is because we're holding on to these emotions and we're not forgiving. And that's why we're feeling this, because the thoughts influence our emotions influence our body. Your emotions are the language of your body, and your thoughts are the language of your mind. They all play on a role in each other. So when you can forgive, that's when you can start healing. Your body realizes that it is in a parasympathetic restful state. It can start to flood the body with the ability to heal the body. And then you start to improve your sleep as well. So I just want to take you through a brief session to release some of that through your body, regulate your nervous system, and allow you to really open up to some of the practices that Tammy's going to show you coming up next. So what I want you to do, just like Tammy said, I want you to bring your arms up. You're actually going to take a deep breath in your nose, stretch out and open, hold that breath, and then release. We're going to do that again. So you're going to come up with your arms, inhale, out and open, and then release. Sitting here, you're going to squeeze your shoulders up towards your ears as you inhale. Hold as you hold the contraction, and then slowly release the contraction as you exhale. We're going to do that one more time. So again, contract the muscles as you inhale. Hold as you hold the contraction, and then release the breath as you release the muscles, going nice and slow with that. Last one you're going to do, we're just going to rub up and down our neck. So this actually activates the vagus nerve. So our vagus nerve, when it's activated, is going to create more of a parasympathetic response, which again is that rest, digest, restore. So if you're ever feeling overwhelmed or just bogged down or super stressed out, just a gentle rub up and down the side of your neck will stimulate that vagus nerve and allow you to move more into a parasympathetic response. So that's just a few practices you can do. And again, next time you're feeling stressed, just go through that. That took maybe 1 minute. And it can start to transition your nervous system from that stress response to more of that rest, digest, restore, and healing response. And the beautiful thing is it opens up your mind to feel safe, to allow it to experience new practices. And that is going to be a perfect introduction to what Tammy's going to show you today with Ho'oponopono.
So if you know me and you went through my process, you know that it's just the one thing that I do with my clients right away before anything else. It's a beautiful Hawaiian traditional practice of forgiveness. It's involved repeating four phrases that I'm going to go through them. And Ho'oponopono means to make things right or to correct. The four words that you're going to say, they are phrases that you're saying. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. These simple words carry profound healing power. Research has shown that Ho'oponopono can lead to significant emotional healing, allowing you to experience greater peace and clarity. So it helps to heal relationships. This practice focuses on healing when you do forgiveness with relationships, with family, both with others and also yourself. It's based on the belief that everything in your life includes conflicts, hurt, shame, pain, is connected to our thoughts, action, and words, meaning that if something happened to me, with my energy, I attracted that into my field so I can learn something. That's why this process is really powerful, because you're not victim anymore when you own your part, when you understand, oh, somehow through my energy, I attracted that. So when you address this energetic connection, you can release negative emotions like anger, resentment, guilt, shame, which often linger and cause harm later on if it's physical ailment or you're not being able to manifest or do the things that you want. And what I love about that process is that it's effective. It's self-cleansing. So you can do it on yourself. It can help you to clear your subconscious beliefs and memories. Sometimes when I go through the process with my clients, they see that the memories are from lifetimes ago, generations ago. So it's not even from this lifetime, but it's still the emotional pain is there. So when you do it, it clears your subconscious mind and cleanse from negative energies. And then you create space for positivity and healing and being happy and opening your heart. It helps you to feel empowered to take control of your emotions and well-being. The best part is that the other person doesn't need to be presented when you do that. I sometimes do it on people that don't know that I feel hurt by them. I just close my eyes and go through the process. I taught my daughters, I teach my clients. So you can do it as a added, even implement it into your daily, whatever routines you have. It's recommended to do it every night before you go to sleep. So you wake up as a clean canvas. So you don't need to take this energy to the next day. And there is a research by Dr. Inhalikala Helen. He is Hawaiian. I know it's funny. It took me a while to learn his name. He's an expert about Ho'oponopono, and he used the practice to help heal an entire world of criminals in a prison. They were called insane patients without ever meeting them in prison. And his story highlights the impact of this practice on both personally and as collective healing. So you can do it as a group. And if you didn't want to do anything that we did today, the next step that I'm going to guide you through, it's powerful. I'm also going to take you through this process. It's a 5 minute. I think it's worth doing it. All you need to do is close your eyes and let me guide you through the process very easily and effortlessly. We're going to move energy through your body. Even though we are in Zoom, you're going to see how effective it is. You don't need to do anything. Just close your eyes and sit very comfortably wherever you are. I just want to tell you that this practice changed my life, changed my relationship with my daughter, changed my relationship with my husband, changed who I am today. If you see a person that is centered and aligned with their purpose, and I used to stuttered when I had to talk in public because English is my third language, and I was lagging, like I wasn't getting where I need to be until I started doing this consistently. I can tell you 3 years, and it changed my life. I have been doing it maybe at least once a day, if not 3 or 5 times a day. And I guide all of my clients through that. They don't go through the process without starting with Ho'oponopono. So if you can, I really think it's worth just sitting down right now, closing your eyes, giving me 5 minutes of your time. It's going to shift the energy. And I hope you are granting me your permission to help you, because I need to ask for your help when we're going through that. And we're going to just go through that. All you need to do is just be your amazing self, the way you are, wherever you are in life, easily and effortlessly. It's going to work. I'm going to sit all the way in the chair, put my volume up so you can hear me, close my eyes, and to, ask God to come and guide me through guiding you through this process, higher power. And all you need to do is just close your eyes, untangle your legs, untangle your hands, sit down comfortably, close your eyes, and take 4 deep breaths. This is part of the process that I am doing usually with my clients, and it's very powerful. And after that, clear their baggage, because we do a Ho'oponopono so we can come into our day as new people. You know, when we cook or we make coffee, we don't use old plates, old mugs, old pots and pans. We clean them, and this is why we do the Ho'oponopono. So we are clear with our mission. We are clear with who we are. Our heart is open. Our mind is open to be happy, to run, not to crawl. If you are not where you need to be, it means that you're holding some baggage or you're not forgiving someone. And sometimes it might be you're not forgiving yourself. So I want you to be aware of it. And if you need, you can ask me later on after the workshop how to do it. And if you worked with me, you already know how to do it. If you want to dive deeper, you can contact me. And our final practice today is visualization. And I don't know if you know it, but if you do visualization, you know how powerful it is for creating the life you want by aligning your energy with your goals. It allows you to tap into your imagination and connect with your higher self. I'm gonna let Kelly take you through the process. We're gonna help you to create the future that you want from your heart with your deeper desires.
All right. Well, the amazing thing about visualization and forgiveness is that when you forgive, you all of a sudden release all that energy that you've been holding on to, just as Tammy was talking about earlier. And now you have more energy to create the life that you desire, to feel the way that you desire, to harness those emotions that you desire. And so the power of visualization is that it allows you to access the subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind runs 95% of what you think about on a daily basis. It runs 95% of your beliefs. And our subconscious mind is often programmed from ages 0 to 7, and we're not even aware of it. So that's the power of it, is that literally 95% of our life is run by programming that occurred from when we were young. So by using visualization allows us to reprogram that. It creates a safe space for healing. It allows us to shift our perspective. So our perspective from maybe what we thought was possible to what we now realize is possible. It breaks that cycle of negative thinking. So much of what we do is on autopilot. We just run on this programming. We have the same thoughts, then the same thoughts create the same emotions create the same embodiment, and then the same body creates more thoughts and emotions, and it becomes a cycle. So we literally break that cycle by creating and being intentional with what we allow in our mind, with what we create in our mind. It creates new neural pathways. So what fires together, wires together. And so if you continually have the same thoughts, you are creating a deep pathway where you're having that wired over and over again. But if you present something new to your mind, you allow it to create new pathways. And that's where the practice of forgiveness allows you to get stronger at forgiving and releasing those emotions. So the more you do it, the more you practice it, the better you are at it. And the same thing with visualization. It allows you to manifest a new reality. So you are a life now, and if you desire something different in your life, you want to feel a sense of joy or peace or whatever you want in your life, you can literally create that in your mind. And your mind can't differentiate between your reality in the physical realm and what is in your mind. So that's the power of it, is that you start to move yourself in that direction, and now that starts to create around you by drawing in that energy that you're creating within yourself. And then it harnesses that mind and body connection. So by creating that atmosphere that we have in our mind of feeling the joy, feeling the peace, feeling the ecstasy, or whatever we have or want in our lives, we'll then allow our body to experience that as well. So just as I presented earlier, that when we experience these lower emotions like guilt, shame, fear, anger, our body embodies that. it is the same thing that when we experience joy in our mind, when we experience peace in our mind, our body then also experiences that. So we allow our mind-body connection to be more intentional within that. So I'm going to take you through a visualization, guided visualization, to now be intentional of what you want to feel. So maybe you've been harboring some of these emotions. Tammy just took you through a beautiful practice to release that, cut those energetic cords. And now we're in a place where you get to choose. You get to choose how you want to feel, the emotions you want to experience, what you want your life to look like. So I invite you to take a deep breath and close your eyes. Place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. And then just breathe with me. So in your nose for a count of 6, and then exhale for a count of 8, nice and slow. And with your eyes closed, I want you to take yourself to a place that you desire to be in. Maybe it's somewhere you've been, maybe it's somewhere you want to be. It could be a beach setting up in the mountains. It could be a country that you've always wanted to visit. Allow yourself to be transported to that place. And now I want you to experience through your 5 senses what you see. What do you see in that environment? So if you're in a beach setting, do you see the waves rolling, crashing in? Do you see birds flying? Do you see the sun setting? Maybe palm trees swaying? So I want you to create the image in your mind as specific as you can and make it very clear what you're seeing in this environment. Next, I want you to tap into what you hear. So do you hear the waves crashing? Do you hear birds calling? Do you hear your loved ones yelling for you and having fun playing in the sand? Is it your children that are giggling in this moment? So imagine what that would feel like and allow yourself to hear what you hear in this place that you desire. Next, I want you to feel what it feels to smell. So do you smell the scent of the sea? Do you smell sunscreen? Do you smell fresh fruit and flowers? What is it that you smell in this environment? And then I want you to allow yourself to taste. What is it that you're tasting in this environment? Do they have fresh pineapple that you just ate and you're tasting that? Fresh coconuts? What is it that you're tasting? And lastly, what do you feel? So being in this moment, in this place, with the people that you love, and anyone who brings you joy in your life, it is just the perfect, perfect day that you can imagine. What is the feeling that you have? Maybe it's joy, just absolute joy to feel so free to be where you are with the ones you love. Maybe it's peace, a sense of release that you feel, and just had no worries in the world. You're just here in the moment, enjoying it. Maybe it's freedom. Maybe you feel so free to just enjoy life for once without any obligation or anything to worry about. Just a true sense of freedom. Whatever it is, I want you to really anchor into that feeling. Feel it as if it is happening right now. You are in that place right now. You're experiencing everything with your 5 senses right now. And I want you to place a color to that feeling. Whatever color comes to mind is perfect. Place a color, and I want you to visualize an orb of that color in your heart. And now I want you to visualize that orb growing. It doubles in size. It doubles in intensity. It doubles in size again. It just grows. It keeps growing. It's bigger than you right now. Continues to grow and envelops you right now. That light continues to grow and it's your whole area that you're in. It continues to grow in intensity and you're feeling the emotions intensify with the light that's intensifying, with the colors that's intensifying. If it's joy that you're feeling or abundance that you're feeling, you feel so much abundance and joy in your life right now. And allow yourself to just sit with those emotions. Take a deep breath. And allow yourself to slowly open your eyes and come back to where we are right in this moment. Take a moment to come back. And if any of you want to share what you experienced, what you felt in that moment, what emotion you experienced, what color you saw, feel free to share that in the chat. And if you were journaling earlier, that's also a wonderful thing that you can journal about. What was the experience that you desired? What was your life looking like? What did it feel like to have everything in your life just be what you completely desire, that perfect moment, that perfect day? Journal about that. Make that as real as possible. A big thing I do is I will journal those visualizations. And I will say, I am so thankful and grateful that I have this experience. Use it in the present moment. So when you create it in the present moment, your brain interprets that as it is actually happening. If you interpret that as I want this, you're only coming from a place of scarcity. But if you can say, I am so thankful and grateful that I was in Hawaii today with everyone I love, surrounded by people, eating fresh coconuts and enjoying the breeze. And you write that over and over again. Now you're starting to wire your brain to make that more familiar. And what we do is that we move towards what's most familiar. What's most familiar is safe to us. So if we can create a new experience that is more familiar to us, then our brains automatically start moving in that direction. And that is truly the power of visualization.
I will add that you guys probably know Joe Dispenza and Jack Canfield. They are big believers. They talk about visualization because it changed their life from not feeling good to healing themselves or becoming successful and having all this money. And for me, it's this process actually helped me because when you visualize it, you tap into your subconscious mind, something that you cannot do when you're conscious. So while you visualization, you're tapping into your subconscious mind and you are able to choose different things that you actually want to do. And when you do that, there is no resistance. So you can create whatever you want in your memory, in your visualization. And I really recommend you do that. And I invite you even to make the best out of this workshop by taking actions. And if you want the life of your dreams, it is possible by taking new actions. What you did yesterday and didn't work, if you want something different, you have to take new actions. So maybe express whatever you went through in writing after this workshop and write your goals. Do it differently than what you did before. You can choose new actions and new behaviors that's going to help you to move toward your goals. I've been doing workshop events for vision boards for many years. I used to host them for birthdays, for teacher events. And believe it or not, those people that didn't have resistance, those were the people who actually manifested the vision boards. Yesterday, I was cleaning my garage. I threw my old vision boards because most of them came to fruition and I don't need to continue with the old. I just let go so much yesterday. And one of them was old vision boards because I want new visions. I'm ready for new things. And we, God willing, we're going to talk about what we have after this workshop.
Yeah, I just want to add one more thing is that one of my favorite quotes is from Albert Einstein. It's no problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. So if you are experiencing the same things over and over in your life, you have to create a new level of consciousness to be able to solve that and have that clarity in it. So that's one of the big, powerful things about visualization. But yeah, so what Tammy's talking about, we're actually going to be having another workshop coming up in November, get another free workshop, and we're going to be talking about self-love and setting healthy boundaries. So this is such a huge aspect I know in both of our lives. And it's something that self-love, I can't say enough. It's one of those things that you hear a lot, but what is the actual application of self-love? What does that look like? What does that feel like? Because it's one thing, to say self-love, but how do we actually embody that so that we can move forward in our life and really honor our own energy, our own well-being, and take care of ourselves so that we can be the best version of ourselves for others. So that'll be a free workshop in November. I'm so excited to host that with Tammy coming up. And if you enjoyed this, I just want to thank you all for being here. It's been such an honor and a privilege to share this energy with you today.
We would love to talk to you if you want to dive deeper, if you want to learn more, if you want to know what we're doing. We would love to see you and continue with you. So keep in touch. This is our information. You can take a screenshot and just keep it, or just Google our names. And if you're here, you probably know us. So we are honored to have you here. It was a wonderful experience. I hope you gained something out of it. I'm sure you did. And you're not the same person like when you enter, and you have better tools and strategies when something happens to let it go sooner so you don't hold it as a baggage.
Yeah. So thank you all again for being here. It's been so wonderful just to share the energy, and it's So there's so much power when you bring a group of people in that are just wanting better for themselves, wanting to grow, wanting to expand. It's just so amazing to share this energy. So thank you all for being here tonight.
Thank you, and we see you soon.
Yes,
And
definitely.
we are so grateful to you for being here.